Welcome back to my film and TV channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. Got a bit of a sore throat. If you can bear with me, guys, I'll try to get through without coughing or editing this thing too much. We're going over to Channel 5 today, which doesn't always, please people when they do drama. We're talking a period drama today, and this certainly hasn't pleased a lot of people. There's a lot of people don't like this, but I'll give you my views as we're going through. Mainly the public. It's not many critics have spoke about it, but we're looking at the Forsytes, which is a 6-episode series. I'll tell you now, I probably wouldn't have minded a couple extra than the 6 episodes, and it's showing on Channel 5 since the 20th of October 2025. I'm doing this review on the 7th of November 2025, and this will be available on PBS, who've mainly funded this, on the 22nd of March 2026. So you've got a bit of time to wait over the pond to watch this. And it's, of course, based on the novels by John Galsworthy, and that's where the problem starts, really, because based, let's say, extremely loosely on the novels of John Galsworthy, not that I've read any of them, and it's the 3rd television adaptation of the Forsyte Saga, of course, and this is just called the Forsytes. Right, let's have a quick look at this, please. As I say, it's not many people are a lot of people are happy with it because it's got an okay score on Internet Movie Database, but a lot of people aren't overly convinced about this. A bit very critical, in fact, of this. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. Please, guys, if you are new to the channel, hit that like button. It helps the algorithms, helps this channel, supports me, guys. If you can do that, if you're still watching this now, please just hit that like button. That'd be wonderful. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. Sometimes more positive than this one, but I'm positive. It's other people that are not so much. So yeah, hit that subscribe button as well if you're not already subscribed. And of course, if you've got any hype points to spare for this poor sore-throated presenter here, or talker, or vlogger, whatever we call ourselves, that'd be much appreciated. Of course, the hype also affects things like algorithms, gets the channel out there so people know about it. So you can do that for me. Spare me any points, that'd be wonderful. Right, what's it about this? Well, if you don't know anything about the Forsyte Saga, it's set in the late Victorian period of the UK or Great Britain, and follows the lives of an upper-class family. Yes, some working class and less middle class and versions sort of on their horizon as well come into their lives. But it's an upper-class family of stockbrokers, of course, the Forsytes. Across 4 separate generations, as Jolyon Forsyte takes over the family stock brokerage firm. He faces challenges from his cousin, Soames, and the return of his lover, Louisa. His lover from a few years previously. We had a bit of a fling, I think, mainly. Was it Venice? I think it was Venice featured anyway. Great cast, of course, you'd expect in this, and a good cast as well, actually. A lot of UK-based actors, of course. Francesca Annis, Fiona Button, Jack Davenport, Tom Durant Pritchard, Jamie Flatters, Naomi Frederick, Millie Gibson, Danny Griffin, Susan Hampshire. I see Susan, I've seen her for a long time. Tuppence Middleton, I love that name. Justin Moore, Stephen Moyer, Joshua Orpin, Sharon Rose, Josette Simon, Tristan Sturrock, and of course the lovely, the beautiful, the wonderful part of what kept me watching, Eleanor Tomlinson, of course, stars in this. Just have a quick look at what Gerard Gilbert said of the iPaper. I'll comment on his thoughts. I think he's a little bit mixed on this. He said, the Forsytes is as subtle as a migraine. So there you go. If that's subtle, you go. I said he sort of likes it. I think he did, really. Debbie Horsfield, the writer of Five's new adaptation, he says the Forsytes has taken liberties with the stories, and that's causing a lot of problems. Gerard went on to say, with most of the cast conveniently gathered in church, it's left to the Forsyte matriarch, Anne, played by Francesca Annis, to introduce everyone in a desperate housewife-style voiceover. Yeah, if you start thinking of a modernisation, you're not going to get it with this series. Actually, this is all in episode 1, of course, setting up the whole thing, and it's great for me because my old adult brain, if I had to listen and try and figure out who was who and what was what, I would have probably been struggling. Gerard goes on to say, bankrolled by America's public broadcaster, PBS, which is a faithful importer of a certain, lose my voice, type of a classy British TV drama, The Forsytes is sumptuously filmed. Everything has a slightly unnatural glossy sheen, it does, especially Danny Griffin as Jolyon, who has been coiffed, and styled so it resembles a handsome prince from a Disney animation. He does. And just in case we didn't twig that he's a rotter, Joshua Orpin Soames is given a suitably horrid moustache. Yes, and, he's an interesting character, Soames, because I didn't think he was that bad originally. As I say, it changes, of course, as the story gets told. But I thought, when's he going to be bad? Apart from trying to take over a business, and that's just sort of wanting to do things, wanting to do that. I didn't think it was particularly bad. Of course, he fell in love, so I knew there was going to be problems there. But yeah, so even the villain with the moustache is, for me, isn't very villainic. Is that a word, villainic? And of course, Gerard finishes by saying, if this hasn't insulted your intelligence, referring to the fact it was all set up like he thought Desperate Housewives, it may dig its soapy hooks into you. Yeah, so it may not. Or it might just tempt you to look at Goldsworthy's source novels to discover why this saga won him the Nobel Prize for Literature. No, probably won't. I probably won't go back to the novels. Yeah, so I think Gerard is pretty much spot on with his comments, and he did a review in the iPaper, Gerard. And I think what initially struck me about this series was how 70s it felt, how being made in the 70s, of course the original was made in the 60s, but this had that 70s soapy feel to it, which was he's commented about. And there's no sort of updating, there's no tweaking to the 2020 versions, even the House of Guinness that I watched recently, stuff like that. Of course, you can go back to Peaky Blinders and all this sort of thing. There's no sort of modernisation, it's just very old-fashioned in its storytelling. No modern, like you get modern music thrown at you, wouldn't you? Animations, you get modern language, the F word thrown at you every 2 minutes. All this sort of thing that you probably get in these Victorian adaptations even now. It's just not there. It's just so old-fashioned in its presentation. And I don't mind that. I'm not bothered about that. I like the new stuff, of course I do. I like the new adaptations and the way they glitz them up and make them a bit more modern. But I'm quite happy with this as well. I only rewatched, I think I mentioned it a few reviews ago now. I was talking about Upstairs, Downstairs. I think it might be when I was reviewing the Guinness series. And I said I'd only just rewatched Upstairs Downstairs probably a couple of years ago for about the 50th time, so it doesn't bother me. And of course, with the sad passing, as I'm recording this, yesterday, of Pauline Collins, of course, who did star in Upstairs Downstairs towards I think the latter part of the series. I think I may go back and watch it again because I do like Pauline Collins. But I have no interest. That's what it is. It is what it is, as we say, isn't it? And people don't like that saying, but it is. I've no interest in liking it to the original. I didn't compare it, and I can't even remember the 60s version, although I must admit, having watched this, I've half a mind to go back and watch the 60s. I think there was about 50-odd episodes, wasn't there, of the 60s version of this, but perhaps something I'll have a go at one day. Perhaps I was too young to get into that. I'm not too sure, but I'm fairly sure I must have watched it because I loved all that sort of thing as a kid anyway. And I say I've never read the book, so that doesn't matter to me. I don't care how he's totally gone against everything that's in the books. That doesn't bother me. Even if I'd read the books, it wouldn't bother me. It's an adaptation. Those sort of things don't usually worry me. This is just pretty light fun and generally entertaining. The cast, we've talked about the cast, but yeah, it's not just the main guy, but all of them are well presented, and even the grime of the East End, if you like, of London looks positively welcoming at times. Yeah, there's no 10 kids to a bedroom and all this sort of thing in this lot. And of course, Eleanor Tomlinson, that we all mentioned before, is sort of as a genius role, playing the honest shop girl, shall we say, trying to bring up her twins, fathered, of course, by the coiffured stockbroker himself, the handsome prince himself. Then again, in his defence, he had no idea that unprotected sex could end in babies. Well, he's rich, so it doesn't matter, does it? But there you go. Well, obviously, these things happened in those days, didn't they? Anyway, the only thing I'm not critical of it. It's different, I suppose. It's a bit preachy. I'm not into being preached at on television programmes. You get the Fabian Society crap, which is what I call it. I call it crap. It makes a change, perhaps from sort of Suffragette, as one of the younger cast members gets embroiled in that. So, you know, things are going to end up going wrong at some stage. So if you don't mind being preached at occasionally by socialist do-gooders, not much has changed, has it, since the late 1800s and now? So that comes into it, but as I say, it's just setting up another subplot, if you like. So that's the only sort of thing I sort of went, you know, I looked at me, I checked my phone while that was bits of that were on. Of course, it's all about love. It's all about these people falling in love and falling out of love, etc., etc. as well. It's all that soapy sort of style, plus the backstabbing and all this sort of thing. Lots of characters, as I said, but I didn't find any trouble following them because of the way they were introduced. And the storytelling itself, just the story, is easy to follow, even for my addled old brain. Some will want it, of course, some will want it to be dark, and they won't be happy with this sort of laid-back retro vibe, if you like. I mean, let's face it, this probably makes Downton Abbey, and yes, even Upstairs Downstairs, look pretty dark and edgy when you compare it to this series. But I just enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. I just take it. A lot of the criticism is comparing it to the books. And I don't know about the books anyway. I never did. I wouldn't take too much notice. I just watch a drama and enjoy it for what it is. So there you go, guys. Scores at the moment, it's only just over 300 scores on Internet Movie Database. And it's getting a 6.4, so it's doing all right, even despite a lot of criticism. Most of the written reviews are very critical of it, and this is a disgrace, this isn't like the book, this isn't this, you didn't write this sort of rubbish, what's all this on, you know, get over yourselves. It's an adaptation. Adaptations can be 1% like the book, or could be 99% like the book. This is obviously near a 1%, but so what? I enjoyed it. Good fun. And very light as well. It's not too complicated. Sometimes you're in the mood for this sort of thing, aren't you? Or I certainly am anyway. My score, yeah, I'll give it a very watchable score. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Which is more or less what the Internet Movie Database total is. Again, apologies for the throat and the full of it at the moment. I feel better now. I get. It's the morning. I usually get worse as the day goes on, but I don't feel too bad at the moment. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please hit those buttons. Of course, if you can support the channel, that'd be wonderful in the various ways I've mentioned, and there are other ways as well. Or if you want to just contact me, there are ways of doing that. All you ever have to do is keep watching and listening.
Hi again, hope you enjoyed the feature, guys. Thanks for watching. Please, if you did enjoy the content, please give us a thumbs up, and if you've not already done so, press that subscribe button. If you've not already subscribed, that'd be wonderful. It's free to subscribe, absolutely free. Also, check out my social media links if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. They'll all be in the description below. And my special thanks to supporters of the channel, yes, Piat6505, who have an eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia, including posters, books, magazines. There'll be a link again in the comments section. And if you're into your football, don't forget my football stuff on Manchester City for general football fans, but mainly City fans, of course. Or if you know someone who might enjoy that, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very, very grateful. And as ever, guys, comments on this feature is wonderful. Anything to do with film and TV, it's always very, very welcome. It's great to talk film and TV. I thank you guys for your support. Stay safe, everyone.